If you use the terms British and English interchangeably, you're liable to get angry correspondence from the Scots, and Irish, the Welsh, and even the Cornish and various other Celtic and such groups. You may also get correspondence from historians if you overlook March 24th, because it's on that date, in 1707, that the Act of Union between England and Scotland received royal assent from Queen Anne. 104 years to the day after James VI of Scotland fulfilled his lifelong ambition of becoming also James I of England, but was frustrated in his endeavours to become the monarch of a Great Britain. Now, there was a lot of dissatisfaction when the Act of Union was passed. The Scots felt betrayed and sold out for English gold, such a parcel of rogues in a nation, as Robbie Burns would later put it. The English, for their part, figured that London was going to be overrun with Scots on the make, that there'd be a flood of savage, disloyal barbarians across the border, and they'd get financial obligations without any corresponding gain. It turned out dramatically differently. It was enormously beneficial for both nations. It's this Great Britain that launched the Industrial Revolution, that became master of the oceans, became the cultural as well as economic and, in a significant way, the political leader of the world for more than a century. And sure, Scots did flood into London, and yes, they did well for themselves and their new nation. They also flooded the colonies. I've seen one estimate that there are something like 15 million people with the surname MacDonald in the world, even though the entire population of Scotland is just around 5 million. The Highland regiments were central to the British Army. But it wasn't just the English who benefited. The Scots as well, a nation that was a byword for backwardness and barbarism, with the Highlanders charging barefoot at Culloden Moor in 1745. You got the Scottish Enlightenment. They became leading thinkers in the world. And of course you have this paradox, or at least odd juxtaposition, of James Watt and Adam Smith both being at the University of Glasgow at the same time, one creating the machinery that would power the capitalist transformation of the world, the other writing The Wealth of Nations. So what the heck happened? I look at this and I'm absolutely mystified. I mean, Great Britain doesn't just create, the Pax Britannica in the 19th century and set a standard for civilized behavior based on what would Her Majesty say, Queen Victoria being the icon of that period, but they were also critical to saving the world from tyranny in both world wars. Eventually, yes, the might of the United States proved decisive, but if Britain hadn't stood up to Germany alone in the critical early stages of both world wars, there would have been no conflict going on for the United States to enter. Britain still has one of the best economies in the world. It's apparently the 5th largest GDP. And they've got their problems. Maybe that just shows how badly everybody else is doing. But it's still a wonderful place. I don't see how you could not love it. And yet at this point, the Scots seem at best sourly indifferent to it, when the English feel that if the Scots want to shove off, that's just fine by them. The life has gone out of it. The conviction has gone out of it. And when that happens, people cannot treasure the history that turned out so much better than they thought, and they reverted to the kind of bad feelings that were around in 1707. And I find this very odd and very sad. Among other things, the UK is a great multicultural experiment that now seems to be fizzling out. I mean, look, if you want to have friendly, antagonistic chants expressed in unfriendly terms at soccer games, that's one thing. But to turn your back on the Act of Union and the wonderful, great Britain that came out of it, because you just kind of got tired and indifferent and took it for granted, that seems to me to be a very, very sad outcome of what, by any rational standard, has been 3 glorious centuries in which the British were not just the English.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.